That is the only practical use I have for this thing. Alien Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott, who directed the masterful first film in 1979 and directed also the very divisive Prometheus in 2012, and stars Katherine Waterston, Billy Crudup, Danny McBride, and Michael Fassbender, and tells the story of the colonist crew aboard the ship Covenant. They're out going towards a new planet to inhabit when they stumble upon this one that looks perfect for them. It's got weed, it's got water, so they go down and check it out, and they should not have done that because they start getting attacked. Leading up to Alien Covenant, I was rewatching the entire Alien franchise, except for Resurrection, because why even bother? But with each film, I love how they each had their own new director that brought in their unique style. James Cameron's Aliens is a lot different than Alien, and even though there was a ton of studio interference with David Fincher in Alien 3, he was still able to put in some of his own unique style that made the film visually pleasing and different from the other two Alien films. But with Alien Covenant, it just felt very generic to me, like a run-by-the-mill horror film that didn't feel a part of this Alien franchise. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie as an art form is visually beautiful. The cinematography and the set design are top-notch. There's so many great shots of the ship, the set design of the ship, but also out in space. And once they go down on the planet, the sweeping shots over the mountain as the landing ship is coming in, and then the whole crew are out in the woodland areas. It was just a great film to look at. And the CGI of the actual alien was done really well. Going back and watching Alien 3, the effects are getting really outdated, which is forgivable. It was 1992, but these effects seem like they're going to hold up for a long time in Alien Covenant. And also, the score by Jed Kurzel was really nicely woven into the film. There was a nice sense of wonderment and excitement once they got onto the planet and just discovering all this new stuff, but then also mixing in little senses of fear here and there. It was a great score all around, and all around an amazing film just to watch. But once you start breaking down the film on a storytelling and a writing standpoint, it just starts to fall apart a little. The characters are pretty dumb. Even though I've never been in a high stressful situation, I guess, like freaking out with an alien, some of the stuff they do just makes no sense at all. And having them as couples was a great idea. It could bring extra tension of having people that they love with them, but they don't use it to the full potential. The only characters I felt had a really great bond was Danny McBride and his wife. I'm forgetting who plays her, but they had a great bond. But other than that, you didn't really tell unless you watch like that pre-stuff they put out on YouTube and stuff. There's a lot of information they don't show, and they expected you to watch the previous stuff, which a film shouldn't do that. You should be able to go in and watch it and feel everything without having to do some homework before. In Prometheus, Ridley Scott asked a lot of philosophical questions: where we're from, who created us, and it seemed like he wanted to carry that through Alien Covenant, but he only did it halfway. It starts to ask some of those questions, but then it just turns into a horror slasher film with aliens and xenomorphs, which is fun to watch. It's fun to watch people die and them try to kill the alien. But if he's trying to make this bigger film make us think, he didn't fully succeed in Alien Covenant, and it gives off a weird tone at sometimes, and it seems like he just should have went full measure with that and tried to answer all these questions that he wanted to put out there, but he just didn't, and it was really weird to watch it sometimes. And the main cast did a really great job in the film. Danny McBride was surprisingly really good in his role. Billy Crudup, I loved his character. He had some really tough struggles internally trying to deal with all these people and being the captain, and he was really great. But Katherine Waterston and Michael Fassbender just put on an acting clinic, and those two were amazing in the film. But the other side characters, they weren't really fleshed out that much, and you didn't really care for them at all. They were just there as extra people to maybe die or not. So for my final verdict for Alien Covenant, I'm going to give it was okay. I expected more from this great franchise, but it really just devolved into a horror slasher film. It had some fun stuff to watch and was visually beautiful, but other than that, it didn't ask the philosophical questions I thought it was going to continue from Prometheus, which was kind of disappointing. I was really looking forward to this film, and I was really disappointed walking out.